Welcome to AGORACOM, the small cap epicenter, and AGORACOM TV, a daily, fast-paced, edgy show, bringing the best press releases out of the small cap space every morning at the open, so you can hopefully profit from them and maybe find your next great small cap investments. Wednesday, February the 10th, I've got 3 great press releases for you. Let's start you off first with China, one of my favorite places. You know that about AGORACOM Small Cap TV. This is China ACM, trades on the NASDAQ under CADC. This is a former client of AGORACOM, no longer a client. We started with them at $1 and change, now trading at $5.15. That's why I love China. Here's the news. The company's reporting record quarterly revenue. This is a provider of ready-mix concrete in China. They put up both their quarter numbers and their 6-month numbers. I'm going to give you the 6-month numbers because it's more comprehensive, but go take a look at the quarterly numbers as well. Revenue up 186% to $45.6 million. Gross profit increased 28% to $8.5 million. Now, that's despite the fact that gross margin fell to 18.7% versus 41.6% last year, and the company is attributing that to significantly higher margins during the Olympics, which means the government was paying big cash to get it all done. But nonetheless, it's still translated into a higher net income number at the end of the day. Net income, $2.8 million, or 22 cents per share. Now, why is that important? Assume the company maintains a 22 cents per share, and they've been pretty consistent with their earnings numbers. That's 88 cents per share on an annualized basis. The company's closed yesterday at $5.15. That gives this company a multiple of about 6 times PE. And that's pretty cheap considering net income is growing and you got revenues growing on top line at 186%. So China ACM may represent pretty good value. 52-week high, 850, got a little ahead of itself, back down to 515. Take a look, might be interesting. Next up, Osisko Mining, trades on the big board TSX OSK for our friends in Frankfurt. EWX. They announced 9 million ounce gold reserve at their Canadian Malartic. They own 100% of that. Here are some of the highlights from this press release. It's an open pit reserve that has increased to 8.97 million ounces of gold. That's a 43% increase over the previously published feasibility study. Gotta love that. This company 52-week low is 422, now trading at 845. So it shows you how Osisko has been growing reserves and its share price, and I got more to say about that in a second. Mine life has also increased by 25% to 12.2 years. That's based on a milling rate of 55,000 tons per day, and it's scheduled to average 630,000 ounces of gold plus 800,000 ounces of silver for a total production of 7.72 million ounces of gold at an average recovery of 86.1%. So you can go do some math to try and figure out some valuation. Take 7.72 million ounces, multiply by 86%, take that number, multiply by about 1,000, 1,100, representing the current price of gold, and you get an idea of what kind of numbers this company can bring in over the next 12.2 years. They've got a whole bunch of other scenarios based on milling rate, if they increase or decrease. Take a look at that. That wasn't totally important for this purposes. They're developing this gold project to a large-scale open pit bulk tonnage mining operation. They got $750 million in cash, so they're well cashed up. And they're saying this deposit currently represents one of the biggest gold reserves in Canada for a single deposit and is still growing through ongoing drilling and new mineralized zones. I wanted to bring that up because look where they grew to today. Stock has doubled in the last 52 weeks. If they can continue growing it and gold remains steady or even climbs higher, then you may have a really good outlook for Osisko going forward. And finally, First Bauxite Corporation trades on the Venture Exchange under FBX, and for our friends in Frankfurt under FBI. This is a current client of AGORACOM. Have to disclose that, but we don't talk about AGORACOM clients unless the news stands on its own 2 feet. They announced that they signed a letter of intent with Bauxite Corporation of Guyana, BCGI, to acquire all the outstanding shares and, more importantly, 100% of its interest to the contiguous Tadakuli and Tadakuli Northwest prospecting licenses in northeast Guyana. What's First Bauxite paying for this? They're going to issue 2 million shares. They're going to make a $100,000 cash payment, and they're giving up a 1.5% net profit interest with regards to minerals produced from the property. More importantly, have a quote here from Hilbert Shields, CEO of the company. Really important. because it covers two things. First, with this deal, FBX is further leveraging our metallurgical grade bauxite exposure lead by our option agreement with Rio Tinto Alcan. However, part two, this is what I really think investors should focus on. Quote, I would like to stress to our shareholders that the company's focus is still very firmly on completing the feasibility study for the development of Osisko deposits into a mine producing a premium refractory grade calcined bauxite. So good news that they're focusing on that. We may have some timelines. I don't want to talk about them. Take a look at the previous press releases and announcements, but it shouldn't be too further in the future. Closed yesterday at $1.45, not too high, not too far off its 52-week low, high of $1.70, and way off its 52-week low of 73 cents. So good news for First Bauxite and their shareholders. Finally, I have two stock calls for you. First, Unbridled Energy, UNE, halted at 907 at the company's request pending news. Always check that out because you never know what kind of great news or negative news that might be. Moreover, Osisko Energy, DIS, stock symbol halted at 904. First time I've ever seen this. Reason for halt, transfer agent services suspended. That's not a good sign. So if you're a shareholder of DIS or if you're looking at potentially investing in DIS, then you might want to take a second look. That's a wrap. Great news there on the small cap front. If you look for more great small cap news and information, get yourself to the front page of AGORACOM. Watch the show on the front page or through syndication partners at places like YouTube, AOL Video, YouTube Video, Google Video, all sorts of places. 2, take a look at the headlines. We've got the best headlines on the front page sorted by industry. And finally, get yourself to the marketplace where you can discover all sorts of great companies. We've got great succinct descriptions, and you can sort that by industry and or exchange so you can quickly find the ones that best suit your portfolio. That's a wrap. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.